So hey y'all, it's Steph here from Southern Sky Tea and Garden, and it has been a while, and it's been a trial in life. So I had to kind of put the channel on pause for a little bit, but now is a new season, and it's February 28th, 2026, and I'm going to show you what the garden looks like. That's not really a garden right now, but kind of review the garden spots that I have going here, show you tell you what will kind of be happening in each area as I plan out the garden, and kind of review with you what's been going on in life a little bit at the close. And hopefully you'll follow along with me again this season. And did I say I'm out in Zone 7B, Middle Tennessee? And it's a nice breezy day out here, a light breeze. The wind chime is going in the back that's hanging on the tree. I love those. I want to get more. And it's about 65 degrees, sunny. It's supposed to get up to about 70. Honestly, it feels like it's already 70 degrees, but I think it's only about 65 right now, which is perfect for walking in the garden. I may not be filming everything I'm doing today because it's just going to be a mishmash of activities. Just trying to clean up sticks, pull out some old stuff that's growing. I'll definitely show you what I'm going to be doing, but I just won't be going through all the details today. It's just kind of a get back to it video for y'all. So follow me along and I'll show you the garden spots. So if you all recall that have watched my channel, I'm just stepping out from our back door, our morning room, and we've had some work done in there. I'm kind of excited also to show you some of the home projects that were going on while I had the channel kind of on hiatus. So I'll share that in some future videos. But we just for now have always had a an umbrella covered patio, and hopefully there'll be some work done on this someday to, just we want to extend the patio. We'll probably end up moving this bed somewhere else, but for now this is where it is, and extending the patio that way too, and possibly getting like a pergola or something put up someday. But we're working on it, just trying to figure out plans. But for now it is what it is. So the first bed I have out here is this bed right here. The only thing that's really going is just some wild cilantro. And I have my hanging baskets that I always grow lettuce in. And if you've seen in past videos, oh my gosh, I had volunteer tomato growing in one of these. It was kind of crazy. It was like aroma tomato. It was really fun though. I love volunteers, absolutely love them. I love to see what's coming up every season, and I just let it do its thing. So in here I had several tomato plants going last year that were volunteers. So I'm also, as I plant, I'm going to also see what pops up. But for now, I'm focusing today on doing a lot of cleanup, pulling out some old little, stems in here, trying to figure out what needs some space if I do have some volunteers coming up. And just a lot of garbage kind of around, that needs to get cleaned out. We had a rough winter here, y'all. We had snow. I did take a trip to visit some family in California and a friend in Florida, so that was a nice little hiatus for me while my husband took care of Cash, our golden doodle, at home, and tried to maintain, things here, kind of protecting things from the snow, and just, some things that were going on in the patio that needed addressing. So anyway, but here is this main bed that we keep off of here, off the patio. And again, a lot of this is like usually tomatoes. And right here, like I said, I have some wild cilantro growing. I plan to put some more cilantro out here and some more lettuce seeds for now while it's kind of cool. And then I also will provide a little bit of shade from one of the umbrellas here. But I won't try to make this video too long as I kind of zip through here and show you guys what's happening so I can get a video posted and share all this with you. I love my garden community. So here we have just one of these, like from Sam's Club, an herb bed that I keep going in here, and it grows crazy with oregano and other herbs that I had going. I had dill in here, but boy, the oregano really like took over everything. I had some cilantro still going in here. So I got to get that all cleaned up and cleared out and take a bunch of these sticks out. My goal this year is to have a little bit more aesthetically pleasing garden. So I want to, clear all that up and take care of that. I'll take you over to this area over here. And as I go through it too, our house faces like the front of the house, which is going this direction over there, is west. This is north. So we pulled out a bunch of bushes years ago and put in the tomato cages over here. They've been in various areas throughout the evolving garden spots I have, but for now I have them over here. They did really well. And then I've also grown some tomatoes back in here. And I've shown some crazy gardens in the past year with all my crazy tomatoes going. So I'm trying to be a little bit more focused on the areas where I grow things right now. So except for volunteers that pop up, this is where planned tomatoes usually go. And I'm actually hoping still for some volunteers that pop up in here from the past planned tomatoes I grew. But this is like a planned tomato garden. And I cleaned it up last year, did rock in between so I could be able to get, through there. So it's much more manageable now. So that's what'll be going on in here. I had cucumbers and squash going in over here. And even though it's the north side of the house, this area gets a lot of sun. And I actually had to use quite a bit of shade cloth last year. I mean, cucumbers and squash, love the sun, but it was intense. So we do get really heavy, intense sun and heat and humidity in the summertime. Not as bad as Florida, but as good as you can get for Tennessee. So there you go. And again, we're in Middle Tennessee, so we get a really nice climate out here. But this is probably where I'll still grow some more cucumbers and squash. And it kind of threw my squash bugs off of the trail for a little while because I put them somewhere new. But wow, even in the wintertime here, we still find dead squash bugs everywhere. Now, in the garden this year, this is like I said, it's a hot mess. I didn't do much in the winter and it was so cold out here. I mean, I could barely get gloves on and just want to be out here. So this is all a wreck. So I'm showing all the before video here, but this is a wreck. This is like a greenhouse sort of thing protector that I got from Aldi's, and it just kind of fell apart because we had some real heavy winds the last couple weeks. So I have to get that all cleaned up, get my little barriers all cleaned up again. A lot of this I all got from Aldi's. Great supplies at Aldi's for a reasonable price. And so I'll get that all cleaned up. And I have my trellis here that I had a friend of mine. She has green beans. She's Laotian. And her family had brought over these beans when they came over from Lao Ocean. I never say it right. But anyway, they were growing on here last year and they took a while to get going. But when they did, they were very prolific. And I just didn't get enough picked. And then I just, had kind of life happening. So anyway, but I have lights on there. It still gets twinkling in the evening. So I just have to kind of clean this all up too. So a lot of cleanup happening this month while I do seed starting in my garage seed starting station, which I'll also show you in a following video. So got to get this all cleaned up. I think I have some kale here going that I started last year that like in the fall. That just kept growing. So I'll throw some more seeds down there. Get that little fella some company. And then we also have another greenhouse over here. You can see it has shelves in there. It's another one that I got from Aldi's. Very reasonably priced. I mean, both of these items were like 40 bucks a piece. And this one has held up really well. Just didn't have the other one staked up as well as I wanted to, and I just kind of let it go. So there was several windstorms that hit that white one, but the green one has held up very well. I put rock inside of it, and we'll get some stuff started in there also. And then you can kind of see the whole backyard area here. Outside here is what I call our morning room, and this side of the yard kind of faces, south southwest kind of, because you're still getting the exposure from the west over here. And we get the east morning sun over here too. So it's a little southeast west. But over this way is west on the other side of the house, gets that main western afternoon exposure. And then you still kind of have it coming through here. So it hits this garden over here. And even though, and then in the mornings, this is getting like the eastern, sun coming over, which is really pretty, and comes in through our morning room over here. So this all gets some morning sunshine. And these are all like barrels that we got from Sam's Club years ago. And I have strawberries going under here that just keep coming back year after year. We've been in our house like 5 years. We bought it in 2020, right during COVID. We were signing the escrow papers. So anyway, I've had these strawberries going like for the longest time. What I find interesting about my strawberries is that these all just keep going, but it seems like whenever I plant new ones, they die. They don't keep going. So it's kind of weird. But I try year after year just to add some new ones. I think they're all ever bearing. I want to say June bearing, but they're not. They're ever bearing because they do come in twice a year, the fall and the summer and the fall. So this kind of like the ever bearing type. I did have a few new ones planted in here. And again, like I said, there's lots of trash, lots of wind-blown things that are getting cleaned up. But again, I'm showing you the before. So anyway, but there's a couple strawberries going in there that are new that held on. So, but I kind of just let them spread, I'm just letting the strawberries spread as much as they can on their own. I don't care. I'd love it if they just kind of took over in the background, but they get, they spread more and more every year. And then these are some poor bushes that I bought that never got planted. That happens. The best plans laid. So I don't know. They're boxwoods and they're going to go out in the front yard. And it didn't happen. Life kind of got in the way and I never got them planted and the other bushes pulled out. So anyway, we'll see what we're going to do with those. And then in here was all like tomatoes, and you see some like okra laying down in there. I think I'll probably get a lot of okra this year because I had a lot of seeds fall. And then there's some that I just threw down in there. I'd open up the pods and just throw it down. I always have flowers going in that, and it needs to get straightened up, but it actually held up through the winter. This is my crazy broccoli plant that I had going for years. It's like every time I cut it back, it would just keep growing. I don't know. It might have hit its last phase of life this last winter. My husband chopped it up, and there you go. You gotta clean all that up. So I don't know about that one, but I'll probably at least put down some broccoli seeds. And I may get some volunteers because broccoli seeds were always falling down in there. This was a really lovely yellow pear tomato plant here that volunteered itself, and you can see all the remnants of that. And I actually will just not really clean it out, but I'll just like dig it up and bury everything that's there and rejuvenate it with some worm castings, which I'll do in all the beds, and let it do its thing, and I'll throw down some more seeds. And I'm also going to get tomato plants started in my garage grow station. So there you go. Trying to get some very strong tomato plants going. Oh, and over here we just have our little lime hydrangea plants. And they started off in 2-gallon pots from a local nursery. And every year they grow like crazy. And they just get bigger and bigger in size every year. It's amazing. And they're really pretty when they come in. I was going to see if there's any buds coming in yet. It's still a little early, but there's a little bit of tiny bud, forming there. They'll start coming in, I have no doubt. We have to chop them back every year, but then they just start getting their buds and they come back bigger and better than the year before. And then in this pot, I had some flowers going, and I had some wildflower mix that I just threw down in there. And right now we just have a bunch of sticks that need to get cleaned up. And this is the main garden over here. And we had it fenced off so my dog, our dog, Cash. I share him with my husband. He's mine though. If you all see my videos, you know. But anyway, this garden is a hot mess and it's got to get all cleaned up. I have a lot of work ahead of me right now. Some things that need to get pulled out still. I had a lot of marigolds, dahlias that grew as flowers. My favorites are marigolds, dahlias and zinnias and sunflowers. They're the main flowers that I grow in the garden, and they're great companions. And the marigolds keep the pests away. I tend to plant them in with my peppers, and they're really good at keeping the pests away and, you know, the bugs out of the way. It's an never-ending battle out here with squash bugs. They get on everything, whether it's a squash plant or not. So anyway, but we'll get all this cleaned up. We have our storage bins that have all my supplies in it. I have plant food back there and a little bench, all my sticks, all my supplies, everything that's got to get cleaned up, seriously. But last year I had spinach going and cucumbers, peas. I mean, I'm listing various things throughout the seasons, but these were all the things that I would get going in this first bed here. I mean, it was very, very prolific. Crazy bean plants growing at one point. Again, the season starting off with some peas in the spring, early spring, before it got too hot, so I'll put down some of those again. And lots of spinach going in here and some Swiss chard. In here I had, I actually have a garlic plant, as you can see, going down in here. Oops, sorry, it gets the sunshine. It gets a little hard for me to see sometimes when I'm filming, but that's a garlic going down in there. There's probably some garlic. There's something going down in here too. A weed or some sort of plant. Don't know. Yeah, maybe a weed. Let's see. Onion that I just keep going and going and going. A lot of clover down in there. And in here is where I usually do my peppers, which were doing great last year. Oh my goodness. And in this bed, I usually throw in the sweet potatoes. And in the back beds, I also had, what did I have back there? I had some more beans going, squash going. I'll keep you posted on what I end up putting in there again. And then over here, I also had more squash going. I think I have some garlic down in there, but I don't know if anything's happening. Not really. I had to let things go. I have a great collection of weeds going in here, along with some cilantro. Various fabric beds. I use those constantly. In here, I had a lot of like thyme and rosemary. This is a blueberry bush that I have going that I don't know if it made it through the winter or not. I didn't bring it inside or closer to the patio. I did have it covered. I'll see if it survived or not, if there's any buds coming on. Again, more fabric pots that just had random, like, you know, different herbs and plants in there. My husband was starting to kind of fill this bed over here. I had butternut squash going in here that was amazing. It started growing and vining like all over the place. So that's what was going on over here. In here I had potatoes going and volunteer tomatoes, really lovely cherry tomato plants. So that's pretty much it, y'all. There's the main garden. It's a hot mess right now. It's going to look more beautiful as the season goes on. We have our southern magnolias trees back here, and this is the neighboring house behind those. We're on a corner, so you know, our backyard kind of faces like our neighbor's front yard over there. So they're always just saying to look out from their, you know, home office there, and they're like, "Ooh, your tomatoes are going great." We're admiring them. We're waiting for some. So anyway, so just a lot of storage. You know, I'm never afraid to just show you the mess that's going on. I just have extra bags over here, sticks, a magnolia tree that didn't make it, that I tried to plant. And that's it, y'all. I'm going to keep you posted on what's going on. And all this ends up looking very, very lovely in the summer. It's hard to believe, but it does. But I have no shame today to show you where we're starting, so you can follow me along on the whole 2026 spring garden journey. So look forward to sharing it all with you, y'all.